Welcome back. We're on the old hot rod, rat rod again. So it's like the 10th of April. So we're steaming right along on our deadline. You know, things just happen, whatever. But we got her tore apart. It's coming apart pretty quick. Got everything kind of just buttoning everything up. Got the steering column finished welded, brake pedal, gas pedal, you know, silly stuff, shifter, training mount, whatever, you know. Just getting that silly stuff finished. Didn't figure you guys wanted to watch that. Got a torque converter ordered. Sorry, my voice is a little scratchy. The allergies got me. It's a beautiful day, by the way. Anyways, had the chassis. I had her, you know, pretty well flipped on her side here. And just made it a little easier to get everything welded up under here. Got all that done, though. Got gas tank, radiator, mounts all welded up. Everything, I guess. The coolant lines are all welded up, finished, so hopefully no leaks. Did my best. So anyways, I'm just kind of cleaning up shop and getting it ready to go back together. Really, honestly, at this point, we can start running brake lines, wiring, that kind of stuff. I'm going to clean up the bottom of the cab, throw a little undercoat on it, and we're going to bolt her right back on. So should go pretty quick. I am excited because the weather's nice and I want to be doing burnouts today, not burnout working. So let's get to it. Another day, rainy day. That's okay though, because we got rusty spray. So we're giving her the old patina while it rains. Double, look at that. Look at that rusty stuff. Oh yeah, let her sit outside all day and get rained on. Free patina. All right, well, I got her a full coat. It's supposed to rain all day. Probably gonna let it sit outside all day. So that's just peroxide, white vinegar, salt, and water. Pretty simple solution, just Googled it. Whatever, no big deal, but working pretty good. You know, obviously it's not going to be quite as dark a rust, but we'll let her sit out here and rust up for a few days. It's supposed to rain the next couple days, so I keep spraying it with the old go-go juice, and we'll get that sweet patina. I like it. Ground up, cleaned up, seam sealed. Ready for undercoat. Another day, moving in the right direction though. We're in the booth, so hey, that's cool. We're not to painting yet. I was hoping we would be by now, but I just keep finding things. I don't know. I decided weld up all the holes on the firewall. Started off, I was gonna grind them all smooth, and then I decided, honestly, that kind of looks good. I liked it. So I just started puddling them up, and I think they look good. So I don't know if it's a rat rod thing, whatever. This one's covered by the engine, and pretty well that one too. So probably won't even see them, and whatever, it's fine. I like it. I also kind of cleaned up the window channel, messed around with the visor because I was going to do the visor here. I don't know, just wasn't liking it. So I like it the way it is. I did, while it was flipped on its back, I did hammer and dolly out the roof. Pretty darn nice. It's not perfect, but I'm happy with it. If I was gonna body work it, it'd be good enough. I'm happy with it. You could spend more time on it, but I'm not going to. So made a stand here for all the little bits. Got the steering column mounted so we can body work it, get all this stuff painted. So that's ready. Got a gas filler on here. That's pretty cool. What else? Got the gauges. They are mounted. Got that all done. Never had that done. Just kind of had it started. And then we got door limit straps. I've just done some, you know, little welding here and there, whatever. Just little stuff that needed to be done. And I thought we were gonna start body working, but we got some bad weather for a couple days and we had to move a bunch of stuff around and try to stuff cars in. And I come across that, and I've been kind of wanting to do like a waterfall, you know, Lincoln Zephyr inspired dash, whatever. Found this, didn't really know what it was, just kind of in my, you know, whatever metal pile. And looks like it's a 41 Chrysler. It's that center section of the hood there. I don't know, probably a rare piece, I'm sure, because it's a Mopar product and it's in phenomenal shape. And guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna cut this sucker up. You know, that's how we roll. So make sure you guys are aimed up there pretty good. You guys are. I think we just 90 that bad boy, because you know that's pretty easy. And yeah, and it'd get us in a little bit. Get those out of the way. But I'm thinking something like that. Like I say, we'll just weld it up to the bottom here. That nice little rib going down there, that's pretty sweet. You got a little spot there, maybe headlight switch or key switch or something. I don't know, that's where the badge is supposed to be. Maybe we'll fill it, I don't know yet. Then I'm thinking like upholstery here, you know, and here, and then we can paint this along with the dash. That'd be pretty sweet. So yeah, I like it. Kind of saved this for you guys, so let's do it. The rest of the stuff is kind of boring, but this is kind of cool, so I'm excited. Just like that, it's in. I think that was worth it. Looks good. I mean, I got a couple more weld up. I'll finish that up. But yeah, no, I think that looks pretty good. From the side, from the front, I like it. Hopefully it's lined up with the shifter. I laser lighted it with the windshield and centered it up with the back. So I don't know, I think the shifter comes off the one side of the mount though, hopefully. And that would be about center, so. Whatever, I guess it'll be what it'll be, because I like it, it looks good, and if it ain't perfect, it'll match the rest of the truck, right? Yeah, a couple more days in the books, but I'm getting ready for primer. So, got her all filled out. Not bad for first coat for primer, but looks pretty good. I'll take it. Squirt a little primer on. It's honestly been quite a long primer. So she's in prime. Got all the little bits in there. But that was like April 10th, I think is what YouTube was saying. I've kind of went through and we're just launching all these things now. And it's what, September 3rd. Yeah. Whoa. What happened? I'll tell you what happened. I was under the impression originally that these had to be done July 1st, I believe is what I put on the first couple episodes, whatever. So it had me pumping and going, and I was going, whatever. Then I found out that that was the entry date was July 1st, and I don't know what happened. I fizzled out on you guys. I don't know what happened. I gotta be honest with you. That's just the way I am. And so she sat around, worked on the Falcon, worked on the Mustang, worked on this, that, whatever. We've been busy, but I haven't worked on this hardly at all. We did get it in primer, you know, a couple coats. Honestly, like It's even sanded down, just needs like a quick Scotch-Brite. So I'm gonna mount that light real quick, drill some holes in that. It's for upholstery. It's like a ring to go around there. Whatever. And yeah, get her going. But yeah, just kind of dropped the ball on this. It's September now, so obviously now we got like, I don't know, less than 20 days. Because it's got to be done, what, the 20th, I think is what it is, and at the show and ready to go and drive and go. And what am I doing? I'm behind the ball now, you know. That's where we're at. So I'm way behind the ball. Got to get it going. Chassis still sitting outside. I truly haven't done nothing to it. So now we're under the go. Got to get going. The outside we've kind of sanded quickly. I did that a while ago. I was trying to figure out what was going on down here. I don't know if you remember, there was lots of black paint. They were trying to cover up some kind of logos or grind them off for at some time. This side, they didn't do quite as good a job. So if anybody knows what this originally was, I mean, obviously it had to be some kind of World War II truck or something, at the Army truck at some point. It's got like 7-star, I don't know, I wouldn't even call these like a star. I don't know what that is. Kind of neat, whatever. I did a lot of research, could not find anything. I don't know, maybe someone else knows. Anyways, we're gonna repaint that green, kind of patina it. Haven't done a lot of that, so we'll see. Throw the old shop truck, just gonna be mine, so throw a little logo on there. Yeah, got a lot going, so kind of to the gun now. Check out some of those other videos. Really inspires me when you all are, you know, liking, commenting, and you know, it's kind of, we're getting lots of subscribers. Really helps my motivation out on this kind of stuff. So we dumped a bunch of videos and you guys are liking it, so I love that. Thank you. Anyways, interior color, I think it's gonna be that. I don't know if I told you guys or not. We're probably gonna fur that whole inside out, so really matches the fur well. I mean, it's really light and bright, and then throwing this flake on top of it, which is darker. The truck's darker, so I think it'll kind of mellow this out a little bit. Hopefully it all meshes together, is what I'm saying. So I'm gonna get that thing kicked outside. Yeah, we're working on the 56. Got that project going. Place is a mess. Mainly it's hot rod parts. My toolbox. Be happy when this hot rod's done. I'd be happy to have my toolbox back. Oh, can't talk there for a second. Most of these parts are all for the hot rod, you know, just little boxes of whatever stuff for it. So not all of it, but most of it. You know, I'm trying to justify my mess here. Let me have a moment. Yeah, anyhow, let's get this baby rock and rolled, get back to it. We're definitely under the gun now, so let's get her going. Gotta make this show. So let's go get this baby pushed outside and get her scuffed. We made it in the booth. I got everything pretty well masked up. That sucked. Don't want to do that again. Yeah, everything's ready though. Inside and the outside of the cab. Ugh, so much masking. Oh well, it's done. Ready for some color, so yep, let's do it. the next day. She's dried up. She's got some texture to her. But man, it looks good. I really enjoy it. I went with the old school flake on it all at first. Showed you guys mixing that. It looked good. I did a couple, 2-3 coats of that. It wasn't standing up as much as I wanted or just popping as much as I wanted. So I grabbed some Roth flake and put a little bit of that in there. Man, it really pops. So I'm glad I just did a little bit of it because I don't want it to be like too much. I really wanted it to be that old school flake. So yeah, I like it. We're gonna red Scotch Brite all this and hit her with a couple more coats of clear to get her to smooth out. I'm loving it though. Should be pretty sweet. Going for that old show car, hot rod. You know, I'm kind of going for that thing of it's a hot rod show car that's been sitting in the weeds for years and we got her running. So the outside's kind of ratty, but the inside was super sweet and show car back in the day. It's kind of what I'm going for, but you know, I know it's not all period correct, but whatever. It's mine. Well, back in the booth. Check it out. Looks awesome. End up not caring for, I guess I wanted it to pop more. I really wanted you to just, bam, know it was flaked. So I had a little bit more of that Roth flake, and that gold really seems to help pop, even in like the darker, you know, I know it'll pop in the sun, but I wanted it to pop no matter what. So anyhow, it looks pretty good. Got a little bit more texture, adding flake, which always happens. Whatever. While we're right here, I guess, I didn't test fit on these, and after we added the front filler panel, they need to be trimmed back like a whole hole, like whoa. So probably gonna have to touch those up, and that's okay. And then this, I was apparently too lazy to check which way it went, and I measured out everything pretty much, but I mean, kind of eyeballed the corners. And so it only goes on one direction. Yep, I painted the wrong side. Long story short, whatever. Got to repaint that. These turned out really good though. Probably not even gonna mess with those door cards though. Got a little bit of texture in the cab. So I'm sure the camera, yeah, there we go. We're picking up on that a little bit. A little bit of texture there, and definitely I could wet sand and buff it out, no question. The problem is the jams are that way, like that back piece is that way, like everything's that way. So tons of buffing. Would you rather buff or paint? I'd rather paint. So yeah, I'm just gonna scuff her down one more time, re-clear it. That's just because we added more flake, but I really like it. We're already here. I don't have the time to be doing this, but I'm keeping this thing. I want it the way I want it, you know, like I'm already here. So we're gonna probably let this sit today, maybe scuff it later, but let's check out the chassis. So I kind of cleared it off a little bit. I just had like the old kitchen sink even piled on it. It's been sitting out here for a minute though. I think the last time we seen it, we were doing the rust spray. I can't remember, I'd have to look back, but anyhow, we never did get a box floor in it, so that's today's must get done. Of course, sitting out here, I didn't want that to rust, and it did, so we're going to clean that back up, get the floor welded in it, get the box done. Rear end, of course, obvious sticks out. I had a buddy, he's junker, he knows that I was working on this, come across this disc brake, G80. You know, factory posi, you know, I mean, whatever. Sometimes 2 wheels, better than 1 wheel all the time. So we will throw that in, because from what I understand, it's just basically throw it in. The only thing that's different is the emergency brake cables, and we eliminated those anyhow. So, and 4-wheel disc brake, I guess, I don't know, I guess in theory it's better. In the posi, it's better than what we got, and it's really not costing us much but time, so whatever, let's just do it. I didn't show you guys the old rad hose setup, so I don't believe, so I'm gonna show you guys now. Anyways, it's not the prettiest whatever, but everything pretty well, you know, I mean, it fits, and this is all solid to the chassis. But like through here, you can get the oil filter off. You can get the pan off. You can kind of work on the engine as you need to. We've got a flex spot here, and then it comes up and goes up to the top fill neck, and then this one comes around, goes to the lower. So yeah, it works out pretty good. The only trouble I ever see maybe possibly having is a starter. I think if I pull the header off though, I can get the starter off, jack the motor up a little bit. Yeah, it's a lot of pieces, but I really wanted it to fit the way it fits. It fits everything nicely. You can get to everything nicely. You can get to the tranny good. You can get to body bolts. I mean, there's, you know, it's user friendly. So in the future, you know, and hopefully none of my welds, you know, like everything else should be really good. So yeah, happy with it. Hopefully those long tubes kind of help cool the coolant as we come back here too. So exhaust just been sitting out here patinaing also. So yeah, she's Owen's just been the only one working on it. He's usually got his little bench over here and tools. So we need to get the outside sanded a little bit, get this baby ready for the cab to go back on it. So hopefully next week we can have this thing pretty well ran back together and just be down to plumbing it and wiring it. Silly stuff. Yeah, back in the booth. It's Saturday the 7th, so we got less than a couple weeks to go. Got the backside repainted, re-cleared, and everything else that I wanted to re-cleared. I didn't re-clear a couple of the pieces. Didn't feel like they needed it. But yeah, it was just easier than polishing some of this. That turned out really good. So yeah, happy I did it. Only took barely a little bit of clear and made it look so much better. End of the day, rear end situation didn't work out. Was hoping that we could use that one. This one's like 54.5 wide. Sorry about that wind. And that one was 59. So I narrowed the box, and the wheels fit really nice to the box, and everything fit good. So I just didn't want to swap it all out, and then just, yeah, it wouldn't look right. So this one fits. Went in, got the brakes ripped off, got the drums and the rotors down getting turned. Looked around. I think I can get like a cheap under a couple $100 posi. So I might throw something like that in it, depending. I'm not for sure where our budget's at. Like I say, got the brakes off, got the brake lines, the old lines off. So shocks, yeah. Chassis, getting her stripped and ready. Got a bunch of parts ordered, so I want to get the chassis done. That way when the cab is ready to go, we can just slip her on. Also, got the box floor done, finally. Cleaned up all that rust. Got her welded in there, new sheet of steel. Still working on the old 56 also, so busy week. But yeah, no, got her all welded in, looks good. I'm planning on seam sealing this. I know it's a fat gap, but I don't want to weld to the box. So I don't want to see it. I didn't do my box tubing that way also. I planned on seam sealing it and just doing truck bed coating or something like that in here. So that's the plan. We'll keep trucking. back with you. End of day Wednesday. Puts us like a week solid because we need to be on the road next Thursday to be at the show Friday. So yeah, I'd like to have it running and driving by the weekend so we can test and tune. Anyways, run over quickly kind of what we got going on. Kind of got everything, power steering's going again, new shocks, new brakes all the way around, coolant's kind of buttoned up, exhaust, motor tranny bolted back in, converters in, fuel line, tranny lines, radiator, fuel tank, buttoned up pretty much. Only thing we kind of got into is the rear end. Did end up deciding to go with the cheap pause. So I got it on order, supposed to be here tomorrow. So gonna do that, wheel seals, all the, kind of rebuild the rear end, whatever. Go through it. Yeah, box is on, bolted down. Turned out really good for you guys that noticed. I did not prime the floor. I just one coated her with some Raptor. Definitely not the right way to do it. But I didn't have any primer. It was under a time crunch. The Raptor honestly was going to go to waste anyways because it was way old and it was kind of drying up. So really, no harm, no foul. It's a rat rod, so what's it going to do? Peel up? Rust? I don't know. Anyhow, turns out pretty good. My measurements for our gas tank and radiator kind of got smudged up there on the whiteboard. For the radiator, they were spot on. For the gas tank, we're a little bit off. Yeah, whoops. Still covers it, still fine. We can still get gas in it, but the old radiator, yep, nailed it. What else? Yeah, chassis is coming along pretty good. Getting a lot of the parts kind of cleaned up, kind of got the shop cleaned up. Showed you guys a little bit of the patina on time lapse, so I'll rattle about that for a minute. Anyhow, they had some red oxide primer there, kind of just drifted it onto the hood to kind of blend it in. And then I just kind of went to town with different colors of bug balm to try to blend all this and patina it out. I've not really done any patina work ever before, so it's kind of a first for me. So just kind of did it, wet sanded it down. Yeah, whatever, it's good enough. Is it perfect? I've seen better jobs, but for my first, I don't think it's terrible. It's kind of a slippery slope though with this patina, and I mean, I think the letters down here, the numbers are perfect. I think I've got them patinaed enough. I think I might patina this a little bit more. But overall, looks pretty good. The black stripe, not bad. I think with age too, it's going to get better. Just sitting outside, like it's just going to get better as we drive it and as we use it. This side, probably, like I say, going to patina the other side just a little bit more because this side is a little bit more, and I like it a little bit more. It's kind of, I don't know, it's just faded a lot more, kind of rubbed on a little bit more, and I just think this side turned out better. Also, the decal kind of pulled off some of the paint on this side, made it look a little bit more realistic. Got lucky that it did that, I guess. Any other time we wouldn't want that. But yeah, like I say, the black, that's kind of going to go on with, remember we've got our Dodge, I think these were Dakota Junkyard, but they've got the same profile as our old, so it fits up perfect. But yeah, so by the time we put that on there, it kind of breaks that, those two colors, kind of makes it look, because from up here, those don't match too bad. From here, that don't match too bad, whatever. I don't know. I know it's not perfect, but it's not bad. And then those are gonna they're plastic and they're black. So it's kind of why I did the black stripe, because I really can't do a whole lot with them. I mean, I'm gonna try to do a little bit of patina work, but again, not my strong suit, but didn't turn out too bad. Yeah, it's pretty well ready to go back on. Yeah, gonna keep jamming. going to the rear end. So we got our carrier out, and yeah, that turned into an issue, so I had to replace that anyways. That bolt broke off and had to break it to get it apart, but that bolt there holds that pin in, holds your axles in. Anyways, new pause, got the ring gear swapped over, and now we just need to press some bearings on, so that's next. Alright, we're back on her. We pretty well knocked out most of our lifts, hopefully. We think we've got it ready to fire. Thought we'd bring you guys along for that. The rest of it hasn't been too exciting. A lot of little plumbing, finished up the brakes. We did the rear end. It's pretty much, I think, ready to fire. So I'm going to set you guys up and see if we can't make a little noise. Alright, take two after 3 distributors and 4 distributor caps. We finally put a brand new distributor in it, brand new cap, and coil. So, let's see how that works. Let's try. Sounds good. Well, that's what I needed in today, Friday the 13th. We did get her running today though. Very, very, very stoked about that. Runs awesome, sounds like a freaking stock car. Got a little bit of a cam to it. That exhaust is just throaty. Sounds like it's gonna be a heck of a good time. I cannot believe how good that 2-barrel runs on it too. It's probably gonna stay on it until after the show. We'll see, get her out and do a little test, and hopefully the transmission's good. That's about our biggest hurdle now. Hopefully the transmission or the rear end also is good. As long as, you know, that's not blowing apart and that's shifting like it's supposed to, and this does what it's supposed to, we'll be there. You know, wiring wise, pretty much all done. Everything's pretty well just ready to go up into the cab. Really, back half is buttoned up other than, you know, locking down the battery. I mean, that's pretty well where we're at, and bleeding the brakes, adding some fluids. So probably gonna add some fluids tonight and keep plugging away on it in the morning. We're really down to little stuff though, like I say, bleed the brakes and some wiring. The wiring doesn't have to be perfect though. It's just gotta be good enough to get us on the road. For now, we can always finish that later. We got glass. Really hoping we're gonna make this show. Do not want to fail on this one. We really want to make it and really want to do some burnouts for y'all. So let's keep plugging away. I've been wiring my little heart out. It's end of day, pretty much end of day, Monday. Kayla's running in town for me, getting a few little things. I need some bolts and stuff to get the throttle linkage figured out. And what else? We got a couple hose clamps, some oil, zinc, whatever, you know, just kind of piddly stuff right now. I've got biggest things I got to do. I got to get some new adjuster sleeves on the front tie rods. They're rusty. Need to get them adjusted. Wiring, like I say, pretty much done. You guys kind of watch that, whatever. It's kind of boring. The cheap Amazon kit, bought the cheap, like $40, $50 kit, whatever. Would not advise that unless you've wired a few. Definitely very vague instructions, and there's a few things on the fuse box, which is in the comments, that are just wired wrong. Whatever, but we got it. Interior is looking pretty good. Turn signal switch, for some reason we were only getting one brake light, and turn signals aren't quite working right, so the switch is kind of broken, so we're gonna get a new switch in there. Waiting on it to show up tomorrow, but I got the dimmer switch here, headlight switch, ignition switch tucks up in there. Went ahead and stuck these gauges up in here just temporarily until we get these finished, tacked down there, whatever. I wanted to do more to the interior, but we're running out of time, so don't think that's gonna happen. Biggest thing I need to do, I've got training fluid in it, got brakes, need to get the coolant situation figured out. One still stresses me out, but I gotta have a couple other things. Oh, the alternator, that's kind of, I was gonna warm it up, but the alternator's at the parts store getting tested too, so went through a couple bad alternators also. So yeah, we're getting there. I'm rambling, but we've been on time lapse a lot. We're getting real close to the end. It does run right off the key. Brakes are working, like I say. It did move into gear. I don't have our steering shaft welded yet, so I haven't tried to drive it yet, but it does move back and forth into gear. So it's going along pretty good, I'd say. Good morning, it's Tuesday. Crickets are chirping. They're just doing their thing this morning. Anyways, last night worked a little bit. Caleb brought me back that alternator. Parts store says it's good. They tested a couple times. Don't believe them, or their machine or something, I don't know. I'm gonna rob the one off the Falcon. It had a one wire on it, tested bad. Then I threw this one on it that I had tested prior at the parts store months ago, and then they tested it again. They're saying it's good, but it's not working. I'm gonna rob the one off the Falcon. I know it works. Check my wiring a bazillion times. I'm sure it's good. Valve covers are robbed off a display motor I've had for like 15 years. They're whatever, they were $50 valve covers 15 years ago. They didn't cost me nothing. They were free. So I threw them on there, and we had a real bad leak. That's the main reason. So I needed to pull them off, and they had those all siliconed up, and they're cheap tin valve covers. That'll just fix it. So, and it looks good. What else do we got to do? We got to get the carburetor linkage done. So we're gonna knock out quick this morning. We got to get carb spacer going. I think I got a buddy with a plas table coming by, hopefully to figure that out, so we can get our air cleaner on. We got bleed the coolant. We got to get the steering finished up, and the turn signal switch, kind of the biggest thing. Got to run to town and get that. But I'm gonna knock out as much as I can before we got to go to town. Oh, and the post office has got the windshield rubbers, so got to get that too. Hopefully we can get everything knocked out today, get her cruising, and then tomorrow we can just kind of cruise, whatever, do final little things or whatever, and get her loaded up and get to the show. right, it's end of day after supper on Tuesday. Ooh, I'm all over there. Anyhow, but been kind of rocking around today. It's just getting to that point where I'm just trying to work and not worrying about filming. Pretty well just working through the list. Got the steering knocked out, got robbed the alternator off the Falcon. It's working. Got the adjuster sleeves on the front, got the toe set, steering wheel's hooked up. My buddy Charlie come over, he's got a plasma table. Worked up a couple spacers for our 2 to 4 barrel adapter conversion, whatever we got going on. Huge shout out to him, thank you so much. Got some eBay universal windshield rubber, trying to get it to take shape. I just took it out of the box before I fired you guys up. So the back window's not really liking it, so hopefully overnight it gets better. But turn signal switch is in, brake lights are working, steering's hooked up. Need to get the seat in, but we're real close. I'm gonna try to get the coolant bled out tonight. It'd be really cool to take it for a little scoot around the farm, but let's see how bleeding this coolant goes. I'm sure it's gonna be fun. It's Wednesday, it's D-Day. It's gotta be done today. Tomorrow we gotta be on the road. So bright and early, got everybody's help today. So last night we got her bled out, going in, rinsed her off a little bit, cleaned it. That overflow, I was bleeding it out of the coolant temp sensor, so it was just blowing coolant everywhere, kind of melted that funnel, whatever. Once I popped that back in, it wasn't getting hot, that was just the fastest way to bleed it. Bled out pretty quick, run it for about an hour or so. Had like 180 degrees up here, 140 degrees at the radiator, so pretty happy with that. Seems like it's working. Yeah, really no leaks underneath. Kind of checked all the fluids this morning. The coolant, it was down just a little bit, so I filled it up, which is not surprising. Probably settled a little bit of that air out of there still. We got to kit the carburetor, get some glass in it today, get a seat in it. Anything above that's a bonus. So I think we're gonna give her a quick little scoop around the old lot this morning, see how it does.
Maverick. His truck? Is it nice?
Hello. No, Papa.
What?
No, puppy. A puppy.
It's okay. What do you think of that truck?
Hi, Daddy, coming. It's on.
Yeah, what do you think? Don't run too bad. Left some stripes in my yard. Give the neighbors something to talk about maybe. Yeah, we got a lot to get done today though. We got to get the windshield done. We got to get the carburetor done. We're just going to have to let you guys build on the old suspense. Are we going to make it? Is the truck going to make it? We don't have much time left, so we'll see how it works out. Yeah, you're just going to have to come back, check it out. If you see us out at RATSTOCK, come say hi. Like, share, subscribe. See you on the next one. Thanks.